run down the winning streak, 13 in a row for you, who's been on this team for a long time. Just how does it feel to go on a run like this late in the season?
I think it feels really good. All three cylinders are firing right now, and that's just something we've preached and tried to work on this whole year. We've also been trying to play for each other, and I think that's something that we've seen the last couple of weeks, and that's been a key contribution to our success. So.
The difference between last year and this year is stark. Last year in April, there were 3 times you guys got swept. Now this year, you swept 3 different teams. What, on like a year-to-year basis, can you assess from last year to this year what is different?
I think people really understand their roles and what we need each person to contribute, whether that's in the dugout, on the field, coming in for someone else. Like, everybody knows their role and knows how to embrace that, and I think that's something that's changed over the year. That's been huge to our success.
How do you view your role? What would you define your role as?
Definitely, this year I've been getting a lot more opportunity than in the past, so I think for me it's just someone coming in off the bench and providing an impact offensively mainly, and hitting the ball hard, see what happens is kind of my thing this year.
Every year has their own identity and players and the relationships. Last year, I had heard a lot of the team was really tight. This year, the team is obviously still really tight, but it seems, going back to what you talked about, that team mentality, the team kind of has a greater than approach to things. Could you maybe explain that a little bit and what that difference is?
I think we really dug into our whys, and each person, each player, our team's why, program's why we chose this university. And I think hearing everybody's stories, hearing their path to get here has kind of contributed to that, and playing for, we call it the 3 Bs, but the people beside us, the people in front of us, and the people behind us. So I think that's been a huge thing for us.
Are those 3 Bs what you just mentioned, the people beside, behind, and in front?
Before, beside, behind. So we refer to it as the 3 Bs, and I think that's just been a huge thing that's kind of been what we all go to when good, bad, anything.
When you're talking about your whys with everyone, how did you sort of feel like your whys overlapped? Like people were saying the same message for why they wanted to be here, why they wanted to win?
I think the biggest thing was just everyone grew up looking out or following everyone wanted to follow in the footsteps of someone they looked up to, and I think everyone here wants to be that person for the younger generation, and the only way to be that person is to do it with the people around you. And so I think that's kind of been a common theme for us.
The season's not over, obviously. You've still got a lot in front of you guys. I expect you guys to do great things still. But as you kind of come to the end of the regular season and that 5-year experience, have you had the chance to kind of reflect on what your role in this foundation has been? I mean, you may not see the field as much as some, but you are perhaps more integral than the people that do.
Yeah, I think for me it's being that person that people can go to off the field. I think I've had such a big impact, more so off the field than on the field, a lot would say, and I feel like I've always been that person for anybody to go to. When times are tough, softball's tough, life's tough, and so I think just embracing my role and being a good teammate is something that people will remember me for, and that's something that I pride myself on. So.
Hosting a regional has obviously been a big emphasis on this team. For you personally, what would it mean to be able to host postseason play at the Jane?
I think it would be incredible. Everyone talks about seeing the stadium filled up, and we've seen glimpses of it this year, and I think if we do host a regional, it will be that to the full extent, and I think that would be really cool to witness kind of on my way out, and just kind of show the people behind us that is the standard, and that will continue to come in years beyond this.
Senior Day coming up this weekend. Just what will that day mean for you?
I'm the most emotional of the 5, so I'm going to be the biggest mess, and everyone's already been talking about it. But it's going to be bittersweet. I think all of us leaving know we have left this place better than we found it, but I think all of us would love to be here longer if we could, so it'll be bittersweet.
When you first arrived, what were your thoughts or expectations coming into a program that had kind of had the upheaval and situation that it was going through at the time?
I think just getting back to postseason and making a name for ourselves in postseason, not just getting there, but going far. And I think that's something that this program had before we got here, and it's something we're striving to keep as a standard of this program. And so just seeing our success the last couple of years and hopefully this year is something huge for us.
Have you realized all of the expectations that you had coming into the program? I mean, obviously, you guys have. You've grown the program. You've kind of rebuilt it. created a new foundation, new culture. You guys are going back to the postseason, potentially having the hosting abilities. How does that realization kind of play out in your mind?
It's crazy. I don't think it will ever really feel real, but it's a good feeling to know that we left this place better than we found it. And I think just continuing to help the younger people on this team grow and continue to maintain that standard and just increase it every year, I think will be the best feeling, is seeing their success in years to come more so than our success right now. I think it's huge.
With Tara and Allie in particular, you guys have been together for 5 years now. Is there a group story or maybe a story with each of them individually that you will kind of look back on after you're done here and think of with fond memories?
There's so many stories. I just think the biggest thing with them is like the three of us have been through so much good, bad, ugly, like all of it. And I think just being able to stay with each other through all of that and kind of find out a lot about ourselves, about each other, relationships in general. I just feel like the three of us have really learned how to be good people, how to be good teammates, how to be successful on and off the field and just in life, and really just lean on each other. And I think that's something that like I know I struggled with, was going to other people for help. And I think that's something the three of us have been able to do a really good job at.
Do you have a plan for when Allie plays her first game to go out and see her play with the Pride?
I know. I was talking to her. I want to, obviously, depending on my career after softball, it might not be able to, but I would love to go see her this summer. And I'm hoping Tara will go with me. Some others, have some other friends playing in the league. So I think it'd be cool if I see a little Jordan Bunk matchup somewhere. But yeah.